They'll also be fighting enemies one at a time to help gain experience and levels to get stronger, as well as gold to purchase weapons, armor, and items to help in their quest. Now, what's randomized here? Quite a bit. The map, the treasure chest and search spot contents, the town and cave locations, weapon and armor shop contents, enemy locations, enemy spells and abilities, as well as the order of spells learned. And we'll get more into that as we go along here, but we are just getting things rolling here. And we've got the silver harp to start, one of those key items, as well as the fighter's ring and the obligatory magic key to get our runners out of the room.
Yeah, with the strength being as low as it is, that fighter's ring is going to help out a lot.
Yeah, now the fighter's ring, once our runners put it on, it gives an additional 2 attack power to their total. And the silver harp, that is one of the items that are needed. They'll be looking for a cave to trade that harp in for the staff of rain, one of the 3 items needed, along with the stones of sunlight and the Erdrick's token. And immediately it looks like Jackimus has found a town, and it is Cole. And inside Cole we've got the fairy flute in its vanilla location, which can be used to take out one of the tougher enemies, the golem, by putting it to sleep to allow you to attack on it. But a little early for our runners to do that, as they're still not quite that strong.
Oh, if that was an early armor, that could have been a pretty big swing just at the start.
And it looks like Larry has made it to level 2 here a couple of minutes in. And Jackimus getting to level 2 as well. We're working on syncing up the timer here with the start.
Yeah, level 2 not looking as exciting as hoped.
And a Magidrake sending Jackimus back, as he is out of hit points and is going to be revived at the cost of half of his gold.
And that's a warlock with fire breath.
Yes, the Dragon Lord 2 breath doing anywhere between 64 to 72 hit points of damage. It looks like the warlock has that, and AngryLarry finding out about that the hard way. And Zarnax in chat noting that Larry has doubled the experience of Jackimus 10 to 5, so no chance for Jack. GG. Yeah, I was gonna say it's very early to really count anybody out here, as we've learned in a lot of these races. And both these runners, as savvy as they are, they can take any deficit and turn it into their favor. That is for sure.
That's level 3 for Larry. That's a nice power bump.
Meanwhile, another defeat to a Magidrake on Jackimus' side, and AngryLarry is going to find Cole and going to look for that soon-to-be fairy flute. But first, I'm going to take a look and see what weapons and armor there are in the shops, and everything just a little out of his price range.
It won't be long before he can pick up maybe a club or that copper sword. Oh. Larry was hoping to get some revenge on that warlock, but it's not to be. Back to start. Oh, this Magidrake giving Jack the business, too. So we've just got the Zone 1 and 2 monsters, sending everybody back. Larry is definitely in much better shape to take on those Magidrakes. I don't know if he can take out that wolf, though. It looks like he's gonna bounce before finding out.
Okay, it looks like as we look at the timer here, it's about 2 minutes behind, a little more than 2 minutes behind where the runners actually are in terms of the race here. We'll work on getting that situated here, but meanwhile, AngryLarry looking to take out the skeleton to try to get up to level 4, and Jackimus just a couple of experience away from getting to level 3. Oh, and he does take out the skeleton, and that's going to be a nice huge boost here. And Will Wagner, so far, some low strength to get things started here. We'll load just about everything except for hit points, which have been pretty high. The Silver Harp and Fighter's Ring were in the throne room, and we found coal to the northwest of the castle, and it had the fairy flute in the search spot. Now Jackimus getting up to level 3. And now level 5 here with the spell, and we've got Stop Spell and Hurt More. So that's going to move things along nicely, and Jackimus finding out that the Gold Man has Dragon Lord Breath. Meanwhile, a small shield pickup on AngryLarry's side. Ooh, and now Jackimus finding out about the Dragon Lord Breath on the Warlock.
So it looks like level 5 is a Hurtmore pickup, and Larry finds Rogue Scorpion, one of the best monsters you can see early, to drop that on.
Yeah, definitely a very good choice, as they give a nice amount of experience, and they're not they're right in that that one-shot hurt-mooring range. Are the Rogue Scorpions. Yeah, only 30 to 40 hit points in terms of their range, so with the damage being done of anywhere from 58 to 65, that'll get you a one-shot, and Jackimus now getting up to level 4 here just before the 8-minute mark. So yeah, the hit points already growing rather nicely here at the start, as AngryLarry already up to level 6. And now Larry finding a town off here to the east, and it is Rimmeldar. So we're going to have access to some keys, as Jackimus falling to a Scorpion. So Rimmeldar, the one town where you can access keys, plus there's also a weapon shop there, but no item shop. And they're also the cheapest keys in the land at 53 gold apiece. So Larry's going to purchase, I believe, 4, maybe 5 here.
Yeah, showed up in town with 300 bucks, so that's really nice. He'll be able to pick up the item that's in the inn and have plenty for when he gets back to Tantagel.
And we shall see here once the double doors are open. Well, we've got the set of wings, which can be used like the return spell to transport you back to Tantagel Castle.
Stole that guy's lunch.
Wow, and pretty stacked up shop here with 6 different items, and all 3 shields in play, as well as a bamboo pole, which is one of the well, it's the weakest weapon of the bunch, but for 10 gold, it gives you an additional 2 attack power. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, definitely a good place to go, come back to once you finish your gold grind off. That silver shield is really appealing, and the full plate, not so bad either.
And Larry was looking to stay at the inn at Rimmildar, but not quite having the gold to do so. Oh, and he gets ambushed and wrecked by a warlock. But this will allow AngryLarry to access the treasury. So we will see what is among the 4 treasure chests inside Tango Castle. Well, I was able to see that we had the fairy water and the magic key. I was not able to see the other 2 chests, as had a little bit of a computorial hiccup. Not sure what were in the left chest and the upper and lower side.
Yeah, unfortunately I wasn't able to catch that either, but looks like it was 2 keys, some gold, and fairy water, so the gold grind is a possibility, and got a cave in the basement too. Or is that, that's swamp?
It is. It's Swamp North, which leads to, in this case now, something on the other side here is now to level 6 goes Jackimus. And to level 7 goes Larry, and is going to check his spells, and we've got Sleep and Repel at level 7. And now Jackimus has found Rimmildar, so he's going to go and get his keys. And we have another cave off to the east here. But first, a Rogue Scorpion going to try to interject on AngryLarry's side. Keyword try. And Jackimus is going to head on into Rimmildar and get his set of wings after checking out the shop, but first needs that non-playable character to quit trolling.
And Larry's found the bonus cave.
Yep, the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight Cave, access to a free chest, which this time around, ho ho ho, what a gift that is. Erdrick's Sword, the best weapon in the game, so that's going to add 40 attack points to their base strength. So that, along with the Fighter's Ring, you can see 32 strength, now 74 attack power. So it's going to make things really easy in terms of a lot of the enemies, except that one. The Armored Knight, not so much.
Oh god, they have sleep. That's going to be rough.
And just like that, AngryLarry is slept and wrecked.
Never like to see those spells, especially on enemies that are going to be in Sharlock.
Most certainly not. So that could play a huge factor later in the game. We'll see how that plays out. Meanwhile, Jackimus working on and taking out a skeleton, and that is going to get him to level 7. So he's going to get his Sleep and Repel. So now Jackimus is back into coal. and is going to do a little perusing, but opts not to buy.
Ouch. Angry Larry gets barbecued by a warlock.
Fire-breathing warlocks. Ouch. So both of our runners in terms of experience are at level 7 and looking to get to the target number of 600 experience to get to level 8. So Larry with a lead of a little over 100 experience, which given that some of the enemies give at least 100 experience, it's pretty well even at this point. Synth Pop in chat, the sword was in the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave, which is on the overworld. Larry has acquired it. Jackimus has not found it as of yet.
Jack finds a town, but it's on the other side of the swamp, and he only has 1 HP.
Oh, no. And no way to heal, and just opts to take the walking death. Meanwhile, Larry has reached level 8. No power, 7 response speed, 11 hit points, and 7 magic points. Not too shabby. So Jackimus is going to head on in now with that death and is going to purchase another magic key. I don't believe he's gone into the treasury. I guess he's going to try to go back to wherever that town was.
And Larry might be reaching the end of his journey here. He's got 1 more hurt more to go and in the middle of a swamp.
And no way to heal as of yet. So, at least early on here, the magic point's pretty low, all things considered. And Larry says, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and use those wings. And Larry doing me the favor of going back into the treasury, and we're able to see that the magic key is in the upper left chest, and the bottom left chest is the one that contains the big bucks.
It looks like he picked up some cash for an armor upgrade.
And Jackimus now getting to level 8. About 2 minutes after AngryLarry did.
Yeah, so Larry picks up the large shield and is going to take the long walk to the shop. Be a good idea to pick up some herbs too.
And Jackimus trying to get away from the armored knight. I believe he was just 1 step away from the cave that held Erdrick's sword.
Oof.
And is left and wrecked.
Tries to crawl away with 1 HP, but nothing doing.
And once he gets back there, he's going to realize he was so close to the best weapon in the game.
Well, it looks like he, oh, he's gonna head out, so not gonna head back to dig that out.
Well, exploration at this point is very paramount. the combination of trying to build up the levels and at the same time trying to look around to all the things that are going on is Angry Larry trying to get away from a Demon Knight, and the Demon Knight has none of it.
Yeah, being able to level while exploring is probably the best strategy, given the tools that they have right now. They've got Erdrick's Sword, they've got Hurtmore. And Larry's just gonna play some music outside of town and finds a Wraith.
Yes, the Silver Harp, when you play it, it brings about a random enemy, and occasionally it's a strategy to try to get a favorable enemy. In this case, it helps for 42 experience, and I want to thank Jay Coper in chat for providing the update on the headers, and also throwing out there some information you can see in chat regarding the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Discord, as well as the link to download the randomizer should you want to give this a try yourself, and also has information and links on the current tournament here that'll be going on over the course of the next few weeks. So Larry now heading over to the northwest, perhaps over to, I was gonna say, is that where that town was found? No, that was elsewhere.
Find Charlock and a cave, and a rogue scorpion.
Yeah, so we know where our runners will have to go once they have collected all the items and whatnot. As Angry Larry very close to level 9, about 18 experience away, and it looks like Jackimus has found the tablet cave.
And Larry has found the mountain cave.
So the tablet cave, no enemy encounters, but at the end of the trail, there is one treasure chest that is acquirable. And it's the Dragon Scale.
Not too bad of a pickup. Probably hoping for something a little more useful, but he hasn't bought one yet, so we'll go ahead and equip that right now.
Yes, the Dragon Scale, once you put it on, it adds an additional 2 defense points to your total. And even once you get rid of the Dragon Scale, you keep the benefit of that, as you do with the Fighter's Ring as well, with the 2 attack power. So now in the mountain cave, the first of the 5 treasure chests is fairy water.
And Jack's gonna try for town again. And wizards have sleep. Oof.
While getting slept and not quite wrecked is Angry Larry, although getting slept again and now gets wrecked. A little premature in trying to get away from it, as Jackimus has found Cantlin.
Yeah, Charlock enemy number 2 with sleep, so that's gonna be fun. Time to get some coordinates.
And it looks like things are just about wrapping up in our on our race that was not able to be restreamed, but the first of our matchups here between a couple of our 0-2 competitors, and it was Eternal Newbie getting on the board in terms of victory, besting Captain Green 7 with by about just under 10 minutes here, and Jackimus looking for the coordinates for the old man, and there are none. So no coordinates in the overworld spot. So that means that Erdrick's Armor, by default, since it can only be in one of 3 different search spots, and we've already found one of them, that means that by default it is in Hawksness. And E-Tap, that is correct. So Erdrick's armor is confirmed in Hawksnest. So our runners are going to have to fight a guardian enemy to get the best armor in the game.
Oh, Larry clobbers that golem for 255.
And that is a very nice experience gain, considering that 525 experience gets you from level 9 to 10. So it's a little less than half.
Yeah, Jack gets one hurt more off against the Armored Knight, but gets put to sleep before he can get the second one out. And Larry's going to pick up his Dragon Scale at the bottom of Tablet Cave.
Noctis Vigil, yes. We have Armored Knights with sleep, and we also found that Wizards have sleep. As Jackimus now back in Tanager Castle, going to head on through that pathway at the bottom of Tanager Castle and make his way through the Swamp Cave.
Now it's Larry's turn to find Caitlin, and he's going to check the shops for... There's a flame sword. Not interesting. Magic armor, a little bit more. And is that our first visit by the Fun Police this seed?
I believe that is the Red Dragon, one of the... Well, actually, I'd say probably, arguably, the toughest enemy in the game, apart from the Dragon Lord. The Red Dragon, known as the Fun Police, because once they show up, the fun tends to stop. And Erdrick's sword, which was found by AngryLarry, was in the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight Cave. So now Larry heading on through Cantlin and is going to get the news that there are no coordinates as well. So now both of our runners, in fact, know that Hawksnest is where they will have to go should they seek Erdrick's armor.
Always feels like the worst prize when there aren't any coordinates. Like I walked over all of this broken glass just to have an old guy tell me I have faith in you.
Something certainly to be said for that, without question. In terms of frustration, yeah, those barrier tiles that you see in Cantlin, they're also in Sherlock Castle, and every step that you take on them, it takes away 15 of your hit points.
So Larry finds a Axe Knight and decides, I'm going to check out who else is in this zone, as he is not far away from the next level at all.
And Jackimus has found Breckenary, also known as Six Town, because, well, you see the inn here, only 6 gold the cost to recover your hit points and magic points.
Not too bad, and he's going to check the magic or the weapon shop out as well. Now there's a half plate, and he has enough money for it.
And purchases it. Now level 10 for AngryLarry. 12 power is nice, as is 14 magic, and we have... I blinked. Which spell was that?
I didn't get a chance to see. He was put to sleep before. Jack gets away from the Fun Police, though. That was a nice run.
And thank you, ETAP, for confirming in chat that outside was the spell acquired at level 10. Which you can use to get out of the caves. And Synthpop, a great question there. The orange-colored statistics. Well, I'll mention that, yeah, it's a new feature here for the 2018 tournament. As when you see the red in the beginning, it usually means that it is a subpar total to start. The white is pretty standard for your climb to the top. Once it starts to turn orange, they are borderline statistics that you may think about going to see the Dragon Lord. And once they turn green, then you know that they are acceptable statistics to head down to the Dragon Lord. So still very early to even consider that, but there's also a lot of errand running to do. And Eternal Newbie joining us in chat. Congratulations and GG on your victory not too long ago over Captain Green 7, getting your first win on the board. Meanwhile, Jackimus is in a cave and has found a cursed belt, wings, and the herb. That means that he is in the Garen's grave. Navigating it in the dark in this particular case, and Jackimus is adjusting the fighter's ring here and is looking to take an intentional death, but the skeleton probably not the best enemy to go for at this point, because, well, he has already damage broken the skeleton, meaning that his defense is equal to or higher than the strength of the skeleton. So it's going to be a pretty lengthy, slow death. It's the equivalent of quicksand here.
In the meantime,
now heading into level 11 is AngryLarry.
Yeah, that's a nice HP bump, and is that heal more I saw on the menu?
That is correct.
So that move by Larry to take a few fights in that favorable zone definitely paying off.
And Jackimus taking the death now, and I believe is looking to set up a gold grind. That was the purpose of that. Now, the way that the gold grind works, chests respawn every time you go to the overworld map, but due to the programming limitations at the time the game was made, the game only tracks up to 8 chests at a time as opened. So every chest opened beyond the 8th chest can be taken over and over again. And what was done here was the 3 chests that were in Garen's grave, they were opened, and then taking that death back to the castle, the 3 chests in the throne room, they're already marked as open, so you don't take them over and over again. So then going into the treasury here, Jackimus opened 2 of the chests, which were numbers 7 and 8, and now the 9th chest here that he is working on with the gold, he is able to take that over and over again and get roughly anywhere between 500 to 750 gold per swipe. So in a matter of seconds here is able to just stack up the money to be able to get some of the more expensive items in the game. Ideally, in this case, the full plate or magic armor, as well as the silver shield, the best shield in the game.
Yeah, and he's just going to take the money and run, so feels pretty confident in his ability to stay alive on the overworld.
And there's the skeleton, this time not adjusting the fighter's ring, is going to go after it. Meanwhile, a Stone Man defeat on AngryLarry's side, who's quickly and somewhat quietly building up a rather nice experience lead here of all of about 1,200 experience, pretty close to double at this point. And Synthpop is back asking, what happens if you use the wings outside the throne room at the beginning without getting all the chests in the throne room? Hmm. That is an excellent question, as I can't say I've ever done that. I've never left any treasure behind.
Yeah, they do
Does it
despawn.
despawn when you enter the room? I believe that is the case. So, if there's an essential item in the game, like in this case, we had the silver harp there, I believe that is a way to soft lock yourself.
Jackimus picking up his silver shield, and that's going to help a lot with his overworld exploration.
Yeah, the silver shield adding 20 defense points to your totals. Now, the way that your defense is calculated, it's the items of your defense, along with, in this case, the dragon scale adding another 2, plus half of your agility. And now up to level 10 goes Jackimus, as AngryLarry does a little item purchasing in Breckenary and heads on out of there.
Oh, this is not good. Resorting to heal more strats to run away.
Well, sometimes for self-preservation, that's what you have to do here, but the red dragon, with its high agility, is so difficult to get away from. And now Larry just decided, you know what, forget it, I'm just going to attack it, and now it looks like he's taking the death here. And Jackimus finding a town in the midst of a huge swamp, or at least surrounded by a huge swamp.
Yeah, I think this is the one he found earlier and couldn't get access to. Yeah, it's just Cantlin, so he's stopping off to top off the HP and the MP.
Not a bad plan. So our runner's still looking for the Stones of Sunlight as well as Erdrick's Token. And they're looking for the cave that they can trade in the Silver Harp for the Staff of Rain. Now, based on the coordinates and everything, we do know and can confirm that Erdrick's Token is going to be in a treasure chest. So there are, at this point, 9 different treasure chests that it could be in. In J. Coper, we have not found Hawk's Nest as of yet, but we can confirm that that is where Erdrick's armor is.
And somebody has given this Stoneman some coffee on Larry's side. But finally going to sleep here.
And just wailing away on it. And is able to take it out for 155 experience. Meanwhile, Jackimus is getting slept by an armored knight. Is able to wake up in time. Hits it with a Hurtmore, and there's another sleep. And is able to recover, and there's 172 on Jackimus' side. Oh, and getting ambushed by another armored knight. Slept and wrecked.
Yeah, there's no worse feeling than getting ambushed by an enemy that has sleep.
Well, it'd be one thing if it was a magician that had sleep, because it won't hit you very hard at this point in the game. But an armored knight, I mean, that's among the top 5 most difficult enemies in the game, and another one of them, the Red Dragon, is sending AngryLarry back to the start. And Zarnax, to answer your question in chat, Larry did not finish exploring the mountain cave. He got as far as the upper floor chest, but ended up expiring and had not opened enough chests to do a gold grind. Jackimus, meanwhile, was able to set up that gold grind by going into Garen's grave, opened up the 3 chests, which were pretty menial, all things considered, with a cursed belt, a set of wings, and an herb, but was able to death warp back from there and was able to pick up the gold grind and purchase the silver shield. And Unos noting that AngryLarry, at least for now, going with the streak strats of having no armor.
Yeah, discovers the Goldman with fire breath, and just gonna let that one go.
Meanwhile, Jackimus having more troubles with the Armored Knight here, and is able to wake up in time to hit it with a hurt more, and that's going to get him to level 11. And now a cave here on Jackimus' side, and he has finally gotten to Erdrick's sword. About a 28-minute differential from when AngryLarry picked it up to when Jackimus picked it up.
Yeah, and yet the experience total is pretty close, and that just shows the strength of early Hurtmore.
But it's not something you can rely on for the Dragon Lord, as it only hits maybe about 6% of the time. And here's level 12 for AngryLarry.
Yeah, it looks like level 12 gave a pretty nice boost to agility.
Which both of our runners entering the same name that has a strength and agility build will certainly help there. The first 4 characters of your name, there's an algorithm in the system that calculates which 2 of your 4 stats get a particular bonus. The most preferred among our runners are either the strength agility builds, which is what AngryLarry and Jackimus are using here, as well as the strength and hit point build. The other options, which aren't used nearly as often, are the HP MP build and the agility MP build. And Z-Man, to answer your question, no stones or no token. The silver harp was found in the throne room. Erdrick's sword was in the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave. The search spot in Coal had the fairy flute. There are no coordinates, so we know for a fact that the best armor in the game, Erdrick's armor, is in Hawksness, but neither of our runners have found Hawksness as of yet. But AngryLarry has gone back into the mountain cave, so we'll see, ideally, what the remaining 4 chests are, but Larry run a little low on resources. So we've got some big bucks and some more big bucks. And torch. So 1 chest left here. And we know that Now, 2 of them carry essential items that we need, 2 chests of the remaining 6 that have yet to be opened. And that is not one of them, as there's another torch. So that means that the 2 remaining essential quest items that are needed are going to either be among the 3 chests that are in the back of the town of Garenham, which is yet to be found by our runners, or deep in Garen's grave, as the top 3 chests have already been opened.
And I don't believe the death necklace has been found either, and with the 112 HP, that might come into play.
Yes, the death necklace, which is a cursed item, as AngryLarry gets left and wrecked. The death necklace, when you put it on, if you try to go back to the castle, or if you die and go to the castle, the king immediately kicks you out because you're cursed. But it has a little bit of a risk reward in that once you put that death necklace on, you will get an additional 10 attack power, but at the cost of 25% of your maximum hit points. So generally you'll see runners consider this once they have a maximum amount of 130 hit points or more, and AngryLarry is utilizing the gold grind as he opened the 5 chests that were in... Or actually, he opened 4 of the 5 chests, I should say, that were in the mountain cave, as he already knew what the top one was. So then that plus the 3 chests in the throne room, 1 of the chests in the treasury, so now the 9th chest is gold over and over again. And theoretically, if Larry wanted to, he could go to that upper chest and do a grind to maximize his keys as well, to save a little bit of time.
And while Larry's been doing his exploring, Jack has quietly caught up in the experience total.
Yeah, about up to level 12 at this point, and is only at this point about 250 experience away from catching up to where Larry is. Oh, and the non-playable guard being a little bothersome, and well, stop spelling him won't exactly work, and outside won't work either. You need returning, you don't have it. Or a set of wings if it's in your inventory, but now able to get away, but a little bit on the frustrated side, and E-Tap noting guard chanting the spell of Stop Larry.
And meanwhile,
for seconds.
Jack finds 2 towns.
Oh wow, this could be pivotal here. Well, one of them is Garenham, so we know that there are 3 chests here, and Jackimus is beelining to the inn first.
And so I think we've seen all of the rest but Hawksness.
Yeah, these are going to be the 2 biggies here, Garenham and Hawksness. So let's take a look here on Jack's side. So we've got some big bucks. We've got Erdrick's Token. And more big bucks. And behind Garenham, there is the Staff of Rain Cave. So Jackimus going to trade in that silver harp and get the Staff of Rain. So what that means is that Jackimus will have to at some point go back into Garen's grave to retrieve the Stones of Sunlight from one of those 2 caves deep, or 2 chests deep in Garen's grave.
And the shop monster is a stone man. So not too hard as far as taking him out, but not thrilling when it comes to using him for a grind spot.
No, the deterrent for the Stone Man is the high, well, not only the high strength, but high hit point totals that it has, as it has anywhere between 102 to 135 hit points. And it's pretty strong, too, with a strength of 100, but Jackimus is able to take it out, and there is Erdrick's armor.
Yeah, and with all of the swamp on the overworld, this is going to be a real big help to finish out the exploration.
And to answer Z-Man's question in chat, we have not seen what the Guardian boss is in the Swamp Cave. Given that the swamp is attached to Tangiel Castle, our runners have passed by it on a number of occasions, but have not yet attempted to go there to see what is lurking behind in terms of a Guardian.
And Jack's gonna take a quick nap during this Armored Knight fight.
Well, it is getting pretty late, of course. And Z-Man noting that if Larry finds that area relatively quickly, I mean, this is still extremely even. But yes, both of our runners will need to go back into Garen's grave to retrieve the Stones of Sunlight.
Oof.
While Jackimus is trying to run away, and he gets slept and wrecked. And Z-Man, you are correct. I'm noting that if anything, if I say the word that somebody is in the lead, I say slight, because it is very close that it will go back and forth. And there, yes, have been a litany of comebacks. So no lead appears to be safe, especially given that once our runners get to Charlotte Castle, we have seen that wizards have the sleep spell. We've seen that armored knights have the sleep spell. So Charlotte Castle, as it tends to be, will be the equalizer. So nobody's out of this yet. Let's not say, oh, somebody's got this in the bag. No, this is way too close, as we're a few minutes away from an hour into this seed.
Yeah, and at level 12 with such low MP and strong enemies with sleep, you might have to budget a couple of stop spells for the trip down, and that might cost you a heal more or two and just put it just out of range. We'll see how the leveling goes, but that's a consideration the runners are going to have to think about.
Nice strength and agility totals, not so nice hit point and magic point totals for level 13. And Larry has found, well, he's got a new spell, and he also found the Rainbow Drop Cave, known as well as the Jerk Cave. Because if you don't have Erdrick's token, well, he will kick you out of that cave. And now Larry is in Garen's grave.
Gonna skip out on the cursed belt, but we know the real prize is at the bottom.
And now here's level 13 for Jackimus. So experience-wise, only about a minute differential between when they got to level 13.
Yeah, trading the experience lead back and forth now.
Jackimus working on the exploration, and oh, a nice timely stop spell for AngryLarry on an armored knight, so that's going to really help out here. And Z-Man noting, yes, with the agility gains that they have and the fact that they have the agility build, that they're going to be damage breaking a lot of enemies, meaning that the damage that they take is going to be considerably less.
Yeah, already up to 84 in the defense power.
So as far as enemies that hit them for considerably less, I mean, pretty much everything from a wizard on down is going to hit for 14 or fewer hit points. And now we have, an empty chest. So that means that it was either an herb or it was a magic key. But since a magic key had to be used to get into that area, that means it had to have been an herb. So that now does confirm that deep into Garen's grave, all the way at the bottom, is going to be the Stones of Sunlight.
Yeah, and Larry is about out of magic points here.
Ooh, and getting hit from behind by a rogue scorpion and wondering, all right, do I run or do I fight? And with that high agility, he runs away.
Gets away from the Goldman as well, a significantly more terrifying enemy.
Yes, the Dragon Lord breath that the Goldman has, certainly a challenge, and given that he has not yet gotten Erdrick's armor, that's going to be a bit much. And there is the Stones of Sunlight.
And just enough for outside.
Exactly the way he planned it.
And Jackimus, if he keeps poking around here, he's going to find the mountain cave.
There is Sharlock.
And there is a giant pile of swamp, so Larry's going to find his double towns.
And a great time for it. And oh wow, blue dragons with sleep as well.
Oh boy.
So Sharlock Castle has the potential to be extremely nasty. So now with Larry heading into Garenham, is going to take the 3 chests here, get some bucks, and there's Erdrick's token for him.
And so Larry is, as soon as he finishes out that fight in Hawksness, this will be pretty much evened up.
So almost heading out there, but opted to double back and make sure to get that Staff of Rain. And meanwhile, Jackimus, well, is going through the mountain cave, which we know at this point is a red herring.
Uh-oh, looks like Hawksness has a guardian. Runs into a red dragon on the way out.
Oh, and he's going toe-to-toe with it. I guess he figures better to do that than to try to run from it. So even though it's going to be a lengthier battle, especially given that the Red Dragon has anywhere between 80 and 106 hit points, better to do that and just kind of hang on than to try to run away from it and get wrecked.
trying to run away from this rogue scorpion, but he's just gonna hurt more him. Get out of here. Yeah, and he's just gonna
just hit it with a hurt more.
Yeah, he's just gonna go for this armor too, and we know it's gonna work out. But probably would have been pretty unhappy if there was a red dragon here too.
So the stonemen are susceptible to sleep, and he's using that right away, although apparently that one was not a it was more of a quick nap here.
Yeah, and now this is the big sleep.
And Jackimus accidentally using the fairy's flute, so that's going to take a few seconds here. He meant to use the fairy water. And AngryLarry has acquired Erdrick's armor. So just about like that. Well, yeah, just like that, AngryLarry has everything needed for the rainbow drop. Jackimus, meanwhile, is looking for presumably Garen's grave.
Now all Larry needs to do is find a nice spot to beat up a bunch of enemies, and a swamp cave check wouldn't be a bad idea here, although he has found some really nice zones in some deserts nearby too, so we'll see what he opts to do.
Well, Jackimus has now found the Rainbow Drop Cave. But it's still missing a thing or two to get that rainbow drop. And AngryLarry getting a couple of items in the treasury, and again the treasury troll being trollish.
Hey, wait a minute, weren't you that guy I just saw counterfeiting about 30 minutes ago?
I know not of what you speak, Edgeworth. But I do know that Jackimus is back in the grave, and already noting the top 3 chests is going to be heading deep in, and nice, excellent move, smashing a wizard into a whole bunch of pieces.
Larry's going pretty hard after this golem. Normally I don't like to fight these guys with the fairy flute just because of how long it is, but he is not too far away from the next level, so the information may be more valuable of what the next level's going to get him.
Wow, 25 power as Jackimus getting to level 14. And Eternal Newbie asking if we've seen the Swamp Guardian. We have not as of yet. And Jackimus, getting slept by an armored knight.
Yeah, MP looking like the real bottleneck of this seed right now. Level 14 with 53.
And Larry takes out the golem and is up to 5,400 and change experience. And yes, the fact that at level 14 only 53 magic points, that could be very cumbersome if they're looking to take on the Dragon Lord, as they will have a limited number of heal mores. Only, that would be what, 6 heal mores potentially? So usually if you're looking to go that low, yeah, you would need an insanely high amount of strength.
I'm gonna take a look at who's guarding the princess here in a bit. Well,
Oh, it's our old friend, the Red Dragon. How the heck are you?
oh, the fun police set up a speed trap in the swamp cave. Larry walks right into it.
And chat saying it best when it comes to the appearance of the Red Dragon there. Welp, that's gonna just about do that.
So, this might not be a bad spot when Larry looks at the strength bump that he gets. Right now, probably not feeling it, but with 25 extra power, it suddenly becomes a lot nicer.
Yeah, a little more tolerable. But it's still going to try to find something maybe a little more preferred.
The other option is seeing what's on the first floor of Charlock, but can't imagine it.
Zarnik's making a very good point in that if you do grind there, and let's say you do take a death and have to go back to the king, the walk back to that area is very, very, very short. Pretty much just traversing through the back of the castle to go down into the swamp cave.
So Jack finds the Stones of Sunlight, but is completely out of MP, so he's going to have to walk this out.
So Jackimus finding the Stones of Sunlight about 20 minutes after Larry did. And, oh hi, Red Dragon. Good to see you again.
Just letting him know, hey, you should have done a grind there.
Although considering how hard he's hitting, I don't know how inviting that sounds. Meanwhile, Jackimus running into some challenges as well as the wizard utilizing sleep, but not as problematic as, well, both of our runners have damage broken the wizard. So now the wizard will at most be able to hit for 14 hit points, but can also hit for as low as 0. Actually, now with the 89 defense that they have, they're also damage-breaking werewolves, star wyverns, and green dragons that can all hit for anywhere from 0 to 15 hit points.
Yeah, and the experience lead just pinballing back and forth right now.
Yeah, this is extremely even. As Larry now heads back into Breckenary, or as Z-Man in chat calls it, oh look, Breckenary.
Audible yawning.
Pretty much. It is a more it is a useful town that doesn't get as much credit as it deserves. And Jackimus is now going to get the rainbow drop.
Larry missing with the stop spell. Tries sleep of his own. That's not going to work out either. The Armored Knight not doing too much damage. Still hurts, but not nearly as bad as it did earlier.
Yeah, you have a much better shot of using Stop Spell than you do of trying to put an Armored Knight to sleep. Got about a 6% chance of hitting that sleep spell, whereas the chance of hitting Stop Spell is a lot better. Probably a little less than 20% to miss. So you have about a pretty close to an 80% chance of hitting it. And there it is.
Yeah, and he's just gonna double hurt more him to get him out of the way. So there we go, the experience lead changes again, changing with pretty much every fight at this point. And Larry is just gonna beat up some stonemen, it looks like.
And Eternal Newbie, yes, the stop spell resistance is randomized. It's just this time around it is a little on the lower side. But it can be anywhere from 0 out of 16 all the way up to 12 out of 16. So the resistance can be anywhere from no resistance to 75%. In this case, it's about 18%.
So this is a pretty convenient setup. Stoneman, not the nicest enemy to grind, but there's a town nearby, and he does have 130 in the attack power, or 129 in the attack power slot. So
and this actually isn't a bad play just because of how hard the red dragon's going to hit, but the resources that you'll be using in terms of putting the stone man to sleep, although, yeah, looking at the counter end of it here, the fact that there are the hit points are, fewer for the stone man, but also the experience points are fewer as well. But you also get fewer attacks from the red dragon, which means you're not healing as much. So it's a give and take as far as which is better, but I think it's pretty even, all things considered. But Jackimus is now in Charlotte Castle. And Grandra noting in chat, the encounter rate's going to be the same regardless of whether they grind here in Hawk's Nest or down in the cave, in the swamp cave, as they're both spike tiles. So every time you walk on that, you automatically get an encounter.
And Jack's just gonna fight his way down. He's gonna get some decent experience out of this. Maybe not as much as a grind, but he will be rewarded with the information of what enemies are gonna be in the route down here.
Ooh, and Hawk's Nest also has blue dragons, which also have sleep, as do the wizards.
So those enemies look like they are designed expressly to waste your time.
Between the sleep and hurt spells of the the blue dragon, that certainly looks to be the case. So now Jackimus taking out a stone man and is only, well, he's one encounter away from hitting level 15. And I would imagine, yeah, that Jackimus is fighting his way down to perhaps see what is in the treasury, perhaps looking to get the death necklace, although the hit point's not quite there yet, but we'll see what level 15 brings. 4 power, 1 speed, 6 hit points, no MP, and another spell. So it looks like a grind to 16 may be the way to go here, although the strength is pretty high, but those MP, only 53 magic points at level 15.
Yeah, and experience-wise, the Charlock dive is proving to be a little bit more efficient than the Stoneman grind. Just in the way of enemies that Jack's fighting on the way down. They're only taking him a couple of turns to get through, or they're red dragons, which are worth a ton.
But there is a, yeah, with the Garenham town being right there by Hawksnest, it's a pretty short walk to be able to recover and head on back. So it could very well be that the challenge is going to be getting down to the Dragon Lord and then having enough magic points to be able to heal up at any point here.
Yeah, and Jack takes a dirt nap on the way down to a red dragon, so Larry is going to have pretty much the entire walk to Sharlock to gain some experience back.
And that's the thing with the randomness of the build. You never know how it's going to go. So even if strength HP was done here as opposed to strength agility, you still have those low magic points. 53 at level 15.
Yeah, Larry hitting level 15 as well, and attack power at 133. Another question in chat, what is the HP range of Dragon Lord 2? I believe it's 150 to 165?
That is correct. Now, in the vanilla version of the game, you would see it as 130, but in this case, there's a range. So that certainly accounts for some of the calculations as, another death for Jackimus.
Yeah, and some more time for Larry to catch up.
Now, don't forget, we have a whole bunch of action coming your way as far as the third round here of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Tournament. As we've had 2 matchups tonight, the remaining 19 will be competed over the course of the next 6 days between now and Sunday. So a lot of action coming your way over the course of the next few days here among the Randomania networks. Plus, along the way, well, there's also the Legend of Zelda Pentaforce tournament that's going on, and something that I know I'll be involved in tomorrow is going to be a couple of the matches of the Super Mario Land 2 Randomizer League. There's one at 3 o'clock Eastern and another at 6 o'clock Eastern, so plenty going on here. You definitely want to check out and make sure, if you haven't already, to give a follow to the 4 Randomania networks.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways this seed could end, but just need to see what the randomizer is going to give as far as stats go. A big strength boost could make it, or a big HP boost for the Death Necklace. Both of those would make an interesting case for making the dive on the next level. But Jack and Larry are closing in on it now.
Yeah, the target number of experience to get to level 16 is 9,750. Jackimus now with this kill heading over the 9,000 mark, the kill of the blue dragon, so only 680 away, as AngryLarry has a little bit more work to do, but only a little more.
Yeah, it looked like there was a bit of a pile up in front of the inn, so he had to walk out and come back again.
Oh, those non-playable characters, how they troll. So back into Sherlock is Jackimus, and AngryLarry wanting nothing to do with that gold man, and now a battle of the blue dragons as AngryLarry able to get away and Jackimus not so much. It is slept and pestered.
Yeah, meanwhile, Larry failing to get away from Goldman and paying about 40 HP of a price for it.
Jackimus finally able to dispatch that blue dragon. Here's another one with sleep.
Manages to wake up in time for the heal more.
Oh, and an excellent move, a critical hit on AngryLarry's part. That's going to help take out that stone man. So now about an 830, a little less, or 826 experience differential. And Zarnax noting in chat, and it's very accurate, that the Dragon Lord dives are going to be fun. Fun in a very sadistic kind of way. But then again, if you're up here, if you're watching this here on the East Coast as it's closing in on 1:30 in the morning, then there has to be some level of pleasure and delight that you get in things that are a bit strange, to say the least. So here we go for level 16. Let's see what Jackimus gets. 1 power, 2 speed, 1 hit point, and 1 magic point. Are you kidding me?
We're going to 17.
And then, of course, you have levels like that that delight one of the runners of this, Empty Eye, who is yes, who is in almost a sadistic kind of way, a very big fan of those low level gains, and they don't get much lower than that at that point. 1, 2, 1, and 1. And so far, it looks as though the grind that Jackimus has been doing is ever so slightly more efficient, as now the experience lead is built up to about 1,000. Although if Larry keeps getting excellent move critical hits like that, that'll certainly flip things around, and well, AngryLarry will certainly live up to his name in about 241 experience once he sees those totals for level 16.
So Jack is about out of resources and has not made it very far down.
And there's the Armored Knight with Sleep. And here we go with level 16, and there's the 1, 2, 1, 1, and probably a few obscenities on AngryLarry's part.
Back to the grind.
And as you had mentioned, this looks to be where the difference will come in, is Jackimus running low on resources down to just 1 heal more spell, but able to nicely two-shot the green dragon there, in that it'll essentially death warp back to back to Tanagel Castle and have to take that long walk back to Sherlock, and that will allow AngryLarry time, even with a visit to the inn, to be able to catch up a little bit, as he is still hovering around a 1,000 experience set. And Noctis Vigil, yes, the level ups are at set points for this particular seeding. If you had seen a tournament earlier this year, which was the Chaos tournament, with the Chaos flags, the amount of experience needed to go from level to level is randomized, but that is not the case here. They are set numbers, and the target number that our runners are looking for to get to level 17 is exactly 12,000 experience. So once they hit or cross that threshold, they'll get to level 17.
Larry was playing with fire there, down to, I think, 8 HP, and ran into a blue dragon, but managed to get away.
And Synthpop is back, noting that, yes, there in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer, there are 3 different experience leveling speeds. And this one, the fast path, is the traditional tournament flag, where it is 75% of what the traditional one that you would see in vanilla Dragon Warrior, and that's just to keep us from being here all night, basically. The very fast is it's 50% of what the vanilla version would be.
Alright, once again, back to the grind. Larry will have the time of this walk to walk from Jack to catch up on some experience here.
Although Jackimus not really getting very many encounters utilizing the repel spell. And of course, as I say that, here's a red dragon to change that up here. And a question in chat from Will Wagner Music. I can tell you, it says the Blue Dragon's resistance to stop spell. I can tell you that it's on the high side. It is 11 out of 16.
And is Jack headed to Hawksness as well?
Well, here's 17, 3, 6, 3. Now, 3, 6, 3, and 6. I don't know.
Yeah, he's not feeling it. He didn't turn around. So settle in, folks. We've got the synced up grind here.
Most certainly, and yes, the stop spell resistance is randomized here in this particular randomizer, because if they went with the traditional numbers, well, you have enemies that wouldn't normally have spells that do, and vice versa. So you have to shake it up a little bit. So the amount is randomized anywhere from 0 out of 16 to 12 out of 16, just to make sure that it isn't ridiculously impossible to deal with an enemy that essentially is almost tougher than the Dragon Lord in terms of just killing you often. So, up to NG noting it as spoilers. I don't know if I want to call it that necessarily. It's just a little bit of the proverbial inside track, I guess.
Larry throwing out the return spell.
And maybe realizing that the Hawksness grind not quite what it's cracked up to be, and maybe it's trying to find something maybe a little more efficient, or maybe thinking, okay, if I fight my way down to Charlotte Castle and get to 17, that might be enough.
He could be checking Swamp at this point.
So now the target number that Jackimus is looking for to get to level 18 is going to be 14,250. So hovering in at around 1,247 experience, and another excellent move, critical hit. And that takes out that Stone Man. So now we're going to see, in terms of the efficiency, how that will work. Is the Red Dragon one of 3 enemies in the game that gives the most experience, the maximum experience of 255, the others being the Metal Slime and the Golem. So this is something here where you may have to kind of go just punch for punch and just a heavyweight slugfest, but it may go quicker than dealing with casting Sleep on the Stone Man.
Yeah, he's at a point with his damage now where he's 3-hitting these red dragons, and relatively consistently. So the experience total versus the Stonemen, this is a good idea from Larry. This is a very good move.
So now Jackimus looking to recover at this point, and now here comes level 17 for Larry.
Yeah, I think if Larry sticks to this strategy, 18 being a dead level would help him out a lot.
Oh, and there's an Axe Knight with Hurtmore. I think that's the first time we've seen that here this seed.
And Jack being so close to the next level. Hey, these are the perfect enemies to run into on the way there.
I think this was the area that early on AngryLarry seemed to run into a bunch of them.
Yeah, he stuck around this desert area for, I believe, level 9 and 10.
And now it looks like he's quickly running the numbers here with 60 MP. And knowing that to get to level 18, that he's got roughly another 1,500 experience to go.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna walk out. Might almost be faster to just let the red dragon pummel you.
Oh, well, there's quite a bit of magic points at level 18, and I think that might end up doing it here.
Yeah, there it is.
The 25 MP gain at level 18. So that is going to be the difference. So now it's a matter of, will AngryLarry get that 1,500 experience in time? And with that number of max hit points going to 130, there's also the possibility of a death necklace in play, as noted in chat, with attack power of 139. I mean, you're looking Gosh, you're looking at an attack range on the second form of the Dragon Lord of 9 to 19. So that's pretty high as it is. If they were to use the Death Necklace, that would up it to a range of 12 to 24. But again, the equalizer that we have seen are the litany of enemies that have been casting sleep along the way, most notably the Wizard, the Blue Dragon, and the Armored Knight.
Yeah, all it takes is one failed dive to even this match right back up. Nothing is guaranteed right now.
And yes, the previous dives didn't go that great for Jackimus, and AngryLarry. Did he even peek his head into Sherlock? I can't quite recall.
He hasn't been there yet.
I didn't think so, but my memory's starting to go. It's getting late here. So Larry continuing to go toe-to-toe here with the Red Dragons. As Jackimus is now entering the first basement of Sherlock. Meanwhile, Larry looks like about 3 Red Dragons away from hitting level 18. So he should have the resources to take care of it here, and then upon defeating them, we'll see that huge MP gain and probably cast outside and get right on into it. Oh, what an excellent move there, and now we've got level 18 for Larry. Only about a little over a 3-minute differential from both runners hitting level 18. And Larry is running the numbers now, and he should realize that it's time to go.
You can hear the calculator tape furiously printing.
I say, where's IRS when you need him at this point? Good old Rotunda from the old WWF days. Now, Jackimus, interestingly enough, I don't know if he's... I guess he's fighting the enemies that he can damage break. Perhaps just looking for a little insurance to get to 19, perhaps? I mean, the target number to get to level 19 is 16,500. So Jackimus is still about 1,332 away, but now running into some trouble and just barely able to run away from the Red Dragon and has used his last herb.
Obliterates that Green Dragon, though.
Yeah, smashing the Green Dragon into 102 pieces. Let's see what this one does here.
It just hits for 7.
Oh yes, the Green Dragon being damage broken as well. And our runner's just 1 defense point away from being from damage breaking the Axe Knights, but I don't think we've seen any here in Sherlock. As Jackimus is now down to the final basement. And is not going to bother to look in the treasury to see if perhaps it has that death necklace. Figuring, alright, my numbers are good enough that I'm going to be able to go.
Yeah, and that walk through the second and third last floors, pretty much topped off his HP, so he's in pretty good shape. Remains to be seen who the Guardian boss is, though.
True, if it turns out to be an armored knight, for example, with the sleep spell, that could be challenging. And yes, Z-Man, 16,500 is the target number to level 19. And you have to wonder, is Jackimus thinking about it, or is he just going to kind of take the enemies that he knows he's damage broken and just kind of slash at them as he goes along? And if he happens to get it, hey, that's a bonus. The fact that there are these Star Wyverns and Wizards down here certainly making it a little easier, except the sleep spell from the Wizard just being cumbersome, really just pesterish, I suppose. And a huge escape from the Red Dragon there, and it is going to be the Armored Knight. And J. Cobra, yes, Jackimus did not check the treasury.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what a sleep combo here, and oh wow, just barely awakes and gets an excellent move to take out the Armored Knight. And is going to have to burn a heal more just to get out of the red. And AngryLarry continuing to traverse down Sherlock Castle. The Jackimus declining the offer, and now here we go with Dragon Lord 1.
Hold B, then hold A.
Just going to take things as they come here. So now here we go. No back attack. First attack is for 15. And another 11 makes 26. A lot of Dragon Lord breath early on here. But that attack, that might allow for a double attack here, as there's another 13 for 39. And does. So there's a huge 17. That's going to be 56, but now 6 heal mores left, another Dragon Lord breath. There's a low roll of 12 for 68. Now down to 5 heal mores. Larry, meanwhile, on the third basement. Oh, there's a big 18. That's going to put it up to 86. Now down to 4 heal mores. Oh, and a big 19 as well.
Yeah, he is very close now. Another 17. And that's gonna do it.
Picked a heck of a time to get some buffering issues going here.
Jack finishing with a heal more in the tank, so... Finishing with an official SRL time of 120 or 1:44:20.
Oh, meanwhile, Larry getting a death down in the bottom of Sharlock.
Yeah, and looks like Larry's just gonna go for the next level here. He's close enough, and that'll pretty much guarantee it.
And a question from Chad: are these tourneys 1 versus 1 or best time over? Best time over seed. No, it's they are 1 versus 1. So the time that you had in the previous seed makes no difference on the time on this one. But it has certainly been adventurous no matter how you look at it. I mean, we've seen seeds that have gone as quick as, 55 minutes, somewhere thereabouts. And then we've seen seeds that have gone upwards of 2.5 hours and everything in between here. And we have our victor and our first 3-0 runner. Congratulations for qualifying into the tournament, and GG, Jackimus.
Well, technically I'm 7-0 because I finished first in 2 quads before tonight, but yeah, 3-0 sounds all right.
Well, 3-0 in the Swiss rounds, I should say, so you've automatically qualified for the bracket stage.
Cool, so I can just go on a bender for 2 weeks and not do anything, right?
Well, you could, or you could, go and theoretically, if you win next week, you would automatically get a bye into the second round. So then you could have your 2-week bender if you so chose.
Okay. What if I go 5-0? Do I just win automatically at that point?
Well, no. Those who are 5-0, as well as those who are 4-1, do get a bye into the next round. So the 5-0 would just be for bragging rights.
Well, I'm 7-0, so I'm gonna brag a lot more than that. How are you handsome?
Now I feel like the runners against the. Wow. You're the non-playable character to my interviewing questions here. Yeah, just trolling me all over here, Jackimus.
I'm not an NPC, dude. I'm the main character, don't you know?
Most certainly, and you played very well throughout here. It was back and forth across the board here. I was gonna say, trying to see where to start in all this craziness here. Looks like Larry had gotten an early advantage as far as acquiring Erdrick's sword. He had gotten it almost a half hour before you did. Your acquisition of some of the items were a little more efficient, though, in terms of Erdrick's armor and the token and the Staff of Rain, as you were able to find those 2 caves, probably about I'd say 10 to 11 minutes ahead of Larry in that regard.
Okay. Well, I mean, it was maybe kind of annoying to find the sword where it was after I died, like, pretty early on when I could see the cave. But you had hurt more pretty early, so who cares, right?
Yeah, that certainly did help, and thank you for reminding me of that, as it was just before the 20-minute mark that you were, I believe, 1 step away from that Vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave that had Erdrick's sword, and I believe you had gotten slept and wrecked by the armored knights, which, yeah, that's the sleep spell seemed to be the story here, is between the wizards, the blue dragons, and the armored knights. They were just wreaking havoc on both of you folks.
Well, it's past our bedtime, so I can't blame them. Come to think, I think I was more than one step away. I could see the cave, but I was probably not very close to it.
Okay, it looked a lot closer on the approach. Maybe it was because the enemy appearing was swirling in as you were. Maybe it looked like you were a little bit closer than you were. But either way, it was close. But you were still able to get it a little bit later, and then it looks like I guess talk a little bit about your decisions in terms of grinding up to what would be the ultimate deciding level. As well, yeah. Just go over your strategy as far as that was concerned.
I decided I would kill the monsters before they killed me and reap their delicious experience points.
Was there any thought as to which place to do that would be better than another?
I don't remember thinking a whole lot. I remember another kind of inking that starts with DR, though.
True. That is a very prominent strategy of yours. Is meanwhile, AngryLarry back in the basement of Sharlock and actually went into the treasury and has pulled the death necklace, and also has worked his way up to level 19. So this should be, if he's looking to utilize the death necklace here, this should make for a very swift fight here.
So, Jack, what are you drinking tonight anyway?
I got kind of a nasty gut going, so I only had one beer, but I got some clear liquor because that doesn't make you quite as fat.
Gotcha. Well, I hope your stomach feels better soon.
Oh no, my stomach feels fine. It's just all like suddenly fat and stuff.
Oh, gotcha. That's.
I think I drank 100 too many beers when I was at Sigadika earlier this summer.
That certainly could do it.
Personally, I blame Brian. He was an enabler. Actually, I could blame like several dozen people. It was good times.
All right, Larry lands the stop spell.
What did Larry stop the spell of?
The Armored Knight.
Yeah, I probably should have done that here and there, because they were pretty annoying.
It looked like they had pretty high stop spell resistance, though, so kind of a coin flip. I noticed you just decided to kill them as fast as possible. I don't know which way is the better way.
Well, in hindsight, I very much do like flipping coins. Because you never know which side is going to come up. Sometimes, it comes up heads. Sometimes it comes up tails. And then, like, this 1 in a billion chance it just lands on its edge. And you're like, dude, I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of a toss-up.
Well, I mean, you do literally have to toss the coin, so obviously it's a toss-up.
I guess that's true.
Hey, man, you know what else is true? Curry is delicious food. And I want some right now, except there's no place open because it's late and stuff.
What's your favorite kind of curry to get?
Oh, geez, man, that's a tough question. I go back and forth quite a bit. Depends on the restaurant I go to. There's like 4 curry places in town here, which is surprising because it's not a very big town/city. But like, there's this one place where it's like, oh man, you gotta get the vindaloo. That's what I'm talking about. But then there's another place where it's like, oh man, the butter chicken, don't you know, eh? And then there's this other one where it's like, oh man, you gotta get the old. Wait, I already said that. Hold on, what was the other one I was thinking of? Give me a sec.
You got the vindaloo and the butter chicken.
Right. So you have to get the chicken korma at the other one because it's very good there. Or if you like have the monies and stuff, the one place where it's all about the vindaloo, you should try the chicken Labrador, which is unrelated to the like half of a Canadian province. I don't know why they call it that, but it's like all fancy and tasty and stuff, but very pricey.
Alright, and Larry wraps up his Dragon Lord fight.
Hells yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Larry getting her done. He's good people. I like him.
Yep, get out your GGs. Angry Larry going to finish here with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 9 seconds.
I would type GG, except I'm outside on my patio right now, so all you other people in the chat should double type GG because I'm not there right now.
Alright, we'll get Larry in here in just a second.
So as we are waiting Angry Larry's presence here, we'll let you know of what's going on at this point here on the East Coast and I believe also in the Central Time Zone. What's going on later today here among the Randomania networks. Coming up at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a Super Mario Land 2 Randomizer League race of Slash Infinity against Mal Cuckin. And then at 6 o'clock, it's going to be another SML2R race of Oh Dear against Rave Tuba. And then we have more Dragon Warrior tournament action coming your way at 9 p.m. It's Too Early, taking on Amazing Toaster. And we have Angry Larry here in chat. Valiant and gallant effort, and GG to you, sir.
Hey, thank you. How you guys doing?
Doing all right, Larry. I gotta ask you, during the grind with the Stone Man, I mean, you were going back and forth between Garenham and Hawksness, and I was just wondering, what snack food did you wish you were eating during that entire grind?
Oh man, I had peanuts next to me, but they're in a shell, and I really didn't think that was going to be like efficient to grinding. Like, crack open a peanut, crack a Stone Man in the face, go back and forth. I had a tough time doing that. I thought maybe if I went to the Red Dragon, then I'd have time in between like unfortunate deaths to have a peanut, but it never materialized, man. It was horrible. But
Now,
You
were
just
they
gotta
shelled
go all
peanuts?
nutcracker on the peanuts, man. Just toss them in your mouth, wrangle them around a bit, crack open the shells, eat the delicious insides, but manage to spit out the shells of the peanut. That's all
Yeah.
you gotta do.
I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, I might as well just do almonds as well.
Yeah, get that whole beaver thing going on there.
Did anybody else have any delicious snacks during the race? By the way, GG, Jack.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
No problem,
I had
friendo.
some delicious snacks during the race. They were in liquid form and possibly had a high alcohol content.
Were they like all of us? Like I know what you were drinking because you said so beforehand, but I just couldn't picture anything else but you cracking open those little miniature chocolates that are filled with like a little splash of like rum.
Oh, geez, I wish I had some of those. That would have been awesome. I just had the rum by itself, sadly. What would be awesome is if, when you went to buy like a pint of something, instead of getting like that glass or plastic bottle, the bottle's just made out of chocolate. So you can drink it, and then you can eat the bottle when you're all done.
Have you never bit the ears off of a Easter rabbit and poured libations inside of it?
I must confess I have done that at least once before in my life.
I have too, but it was milk.
Well, nobody's perfect.
No, not at all. Speaking of not being perfect, tell me everything I did wrong during the race.
You didn't finish the seed as fast as I did.
What'd you grind on?
I kind of was all over the place. I did the Stoneman and Hawksness a bit. I kind of killed everything in Sherlock on a couple of failed attempts to see what the mini-boss was. You know, I was just hanging out, fighting monsters here and there.
What does the outside perspective have to say about the race?
It was pretty close overall. Just the lead trading back and forth, and Jack taking a lead. The monsters in Sherlock were just a bit more efficient than the Stoneman. Just being able to two-shot the wizards, that just went a little quicker than having to 3 and 4 shot the Stoneman.
Oh wait, I remember now. No, it wasn't about the amount of shots. It was about, hey, we had some pretty nice defense. So all those green dragons and wizards and star wyverns and werewolves in Sherlock, they couldn't damage you, man. You just like smack them a couple of times, and they'd like, they'd like hit you with a pool noodle, and then you'd like go around and drive a truck all over them. So it was an unfair comparison. So that was good times.
Yeah, I just, I never had MP, and I was never comfortable going into Sherlock, because if I went into Sherlock, ran out of MP, where was I going? There was nothing around Sherlock. Unless I got that wrong. Was there a town around Sherlock to replenish? Or you didn't need to replenish, as it turns out, but I just didn't know going in at the time. Like, if I go in there and there's Axe Knights and and whatever, then I'm probably going to need a couple levels. I'm probably going to need to pop a heal more, maybe, and some stop spells, and I don't know where to go after that. So I thought, like, Red Dragon in Swamp Cave, or the Stone Man right next to the town in the South Swamp. Guess I was wrong.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a Red Dragon in Swamp Cave. That would have been kind of to get the old Touche 55 battle there.
I was killing it faster than the Stone Man, but at the cost of needing a heal more, like every battle and a half.
Yeah, so you caught up when you switched to the Red Dragon. I think that bump in strength where you went up to like 129 or something made the Red Dragon fight a lot more appealing. But I think you took off for the Hawksness grind at that point.
Yeah, I just I checked. I mean, I was on my way to Sherlock, and then I'm like, oh, what would Edge yell at me about? And I'm like, oh, I never checked the guy in Swamp. Maybe it's Axe Knight. And it was the Red Dragon, and I was just like, I'm not fighting a Red Dragon. Let me just go to, I guess I'll go to Stone Man near Garringham, so I can just get the quick refill, go fight, and yeah, it was just like the MP just never got there, and it was just frustrating.
What? Well, that was the stat that kept us grinding past like 14 or so. Everything else was fantastic the whole way through. We had high strength, high hips, high Aggie, but man, we just weren't meant to cast spells today, it seems.
Yeah, I certainly wanted to bat flip, but I couldn't bat flip after this race. Did you bat flip? I hope you did.
I bat flipped my cigarette butt out on the porch there, but I don't think anyone saw it unless they have some crazy like hacking skills and manipulated the space station telescope to be situated on this exact point on planet Earth at that exact moment.
I don't think.
It'd be cool if someone did it, but not holding my breath here.
Yeah, I don't think that's covered under the free healthcare.
But it is covered under free healthcare.
What's that?
Free healthcare.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I didn't have anything particularly funny to say there. I kind of dropped the ball. That's my bad.
I was waiting, but yeah, I was hoping somebody did. Or like for the last 15 minutes, I was hoping that either I or somebody else said something funny.
I don't
Ron,
know.
what do you have,
Sitting
man?
back and enjoying my snack of choice, which was chocolate-covered raisins.
All right, okay. Raisin
Oh,
nets
those
or
little
like
glossette things?
Oh no, I wasn't gonna go brand name on it. No, they're just your bulk store brand. Me being a little on the frugal side, chocolate-covered raisins.
where like every fifth one is like kind of like feels like it has a seed inside because it's a little tougher.
1 out of 10 actually. So I guess I got a good roll on that.
Oh man, you know what the best snack would be for doing one of these, and I'm gonna have to remember this and make it happen next week whenever I do a thing.
What's
Get
that?
some muscles going. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Like, is that a snack or is that an entree?
It's more of an hors d'oeuvre, I think, but I like them. They're nice and juicy, and it's very satisfying to just crack the shells open and take the little bits out of there, eh?
Just take a handful of sunflower seeds and just not even worry about it. Just spit the shells on the floor. Be like, I'll just clean it up later, man. I'm in a race. I gotta go.
Hey, that'd work too, but I'm not that Neanderthal. I'd at least get a jar or something on the floor, and that'd be fun. That'd be fun to kind of test my aim while I'm focused on something else there. See how many I get in the jar rather than on the floor.
Doesn't matter how careful you are. You're just going to find shells everywhere after the fact anyway. Be like, how is that even possible? I was very careful to spit everything in this little cup. But how much time do we have to kill? I can go on for like, another 2 hours.
Yeah, likewise.
I don't know. I got nothing going on.
What level did you finish at?
I finished at 18.
Yeah, 18 was like right on the borderline of being able to do it and not do it, right?
18 had that huge gain in MIPS, and that ended up being more than enough. I used 1 heal more to recover before the fight, and I think I finished with 8 MIPS in reserve, so I could have cast heal more again. People actually who were watching the race, feel free to correct me on that, but yeah, I mean, you had like 139 strength, so you're swinging a 10 to 9 there, so pretty. Offense was never the problem at any point in this seed. It was defense was good, and hips were good. It was just Dragon Warrior was not very smart in the arcane arts tonight.
When I dove at 18, I was killing things on the way, hoping to set up level 19 at the enemy, the boss down, the trap tile down there. But I was going to look for the death necklace as well. And I wound up getting the death necklace, but that was just more exploratory. I had 131 HP, and I know there's been some discussion whether this, what it does, the round up, round down, whatever it is. I'm like, you know what, like for the science. Let's use the death necklace at 131 and see what happens. See if it helps anybody out with maths.
I think 131 is a good number to use the death necklace, but I'm not sure like the exact minimum number to still have 97.
I think it's supposed to be 130.
Well, then that's fine. If you use the death necklace and you're at like 95, 96, it's like all you gotta do is take a little here and there, and if you don't mind a little bit of gambling, it's always good, man. You get that extra 10 Atapa. That's a lot of Atapa, I gotta say.
Yeah, I have Atapa up the Atapa right now, but you guys have anything else?
Actually, when you were saying you were like half fishing for 19 on the way down, I kinda sorta was thinking the same thing there. So, like, I wasn't fighting everything, mind you, but it'd be like, oh, okay, all the enemies I had defense broken. So, like, the green dragons, the wizards, the star wyverns, the werewolves. It was just like, I only gotta slap these guys twice. It's faster than running away if I don't get away. So, let's just kind of see how we get there.
Wizard had
Didn't
sleep
really...
as well,
Right?
but Wizard had sleep, so I hit it anyway. I didn't care.
Yeah,
It wasn't.
yeah. Well, the wizards at least were just a nuisance. It was those armored knights with sleep that were a huge pain in the butt the whole way through.
as you finished, I was on the final floor on my way to look for the death necklace, and I got into an armor knight fight, and I tried to run a few times. It blocked me, and of course it put me to sleep a few times and just wailed on me until I was dead. But so I had to restart the whole thing over. But I was like, very cautious on using magic because, like I said, I felt like, and I have to learn this a little bit more. It's a little bit my weakness is the whole when you can't fight Dragon Lord formula. I mean, I understand it, but then I'm still like deer in headlights when it comes to that time. Like, okay, I can average 14, but I have 9 heal mores. So like what? Multiply that by 11 and then check it. So I gotta get a little bit better at that.
I think you're overthinking it a bit there because there's a couple other things that come into play. I mean, it's pretty easy to figure out your average damage based on what your attack is, right? Like you just straight up take away the 100 because that doesn't matter.
Right.
And then you cut the number in half, and then you cut the number into fourth, and whatever's in between that is your average damage, right?
Right.
Right. And then the next thing is, okay, so how many, heal mores do I have? So it's like if you got 10 heal mores, it's like, all right, cool. That means I get 12 attacks if I don't get back attacked, 11 if I do.
Right.
So, okay. But then the other thing is if you have a high hit point total, it's like, okay, now my defense actually matters a bit here. If I got a high enough defense, Dragon Lord might roll like mid-20s on the physical, give me some doubles there. So, there's no exact formula to it. You just kind of have to, I don't think about it too much, I just kind of look at my stats and, if I decide those numbers look pretty, I'll give her a go.
Well, that's the problem with...
I'll just gamble, man. That's all there is to it.
That's the problem with racing you. You're a loose cannon, so I don't know what you're doing at any given time. So it's like always the pressure's on you to go, go, go. And I couldn't wait any longer for any more MP. I'm like, I'm gotta even if this has a fraction of a chance of working at 18, I'm like, I gotta take this right here, right now, and maybe get 19 on the way down. But yeah, GG, man.
Well, to be perfectly honest, with the amount of emphasis I put on exploration at a couple of points there, I hit 17 and the MIPS were still pretty bad there, but I was half thinking, Larry might be 18 and have a ton of MP and be fighting him already. Maybe I should just get down there and try to land an early hurt more and see how it goes,
Oh, yeah. If you're like the craziest person in the tournament, I've got to be second. There's no question about it. I fought the thing at 11 before and tried to win with hurt more. Like, you don't know me. I'll do whatever. I don't care. I don't care what chat says. I'll do it. And then I'll watch the VOD back and learn how to play the game from chat.
That's what's so fun about a lot of these tournaments there too. I mean, it's a little different when you're in the race and you can't even like read your own chat and stuff there, but there's like a certain proper way to go about things and do everything. I like just kind of doing whatever I feel like there, and sometimes it works out. I think I got a couple of clips where I've landed. I know I have one clip on my channel where I killed the Dragon Lord and unfairly won a race by landing 2 hurt mores in 4 tries. So it's like, it's a gambler's randomizer. Just have fun with it, right?
Yeah, why not, right? Did Edge and Furon have fun?
Yeah, it was a blast.
This team was a blast. Back and forth, both of you guys. I mean, as you said, 2 of the riskier runners to kind of fly by the seats of their proverbial pants and just kind of throw it out there and see what happens. And we're just watching for the changes and trying to keep up.
You're trying so hard not to say the word lucky. Thank you.
Theron, I need to correct you right there. I'm not wearing pants. I'm only wearing my boxer.
Wow, you on webcam right now?
Proverbial pants.
Can I host
For those
you?
who didn't necessarily wear pants.
Well, I mean, pants. I kind of like pants, but this time of year, man, they're too hot. We should just be allowed to, not wear anything because the sun sucks.
You're preaching to the choir on that one there, Jackimus. Wholeheartedly agree.
Well, I'm about out of topics. How about you guys?
So, how about them Mets? They're kind of terrible, eh?
Oh, man. I can't believe the Yankees lost to the Mets today. Like, triggered right from the start of this race because of that.
Oh, there we go. If you want to come in and get some sports talk, make sure to join the Discord, and you can be a first-time, long-time.
Yeah, I think we should start wrapping things up. Anything else?
I want Larry's final thoughts on everything that is fantastic tonight.
Oh, well, I had fun, even though I lost. I mean, this was a blast. It was a fun seed. I had a lot of enjoyment. I like the fact that my timer is in Roman numerals and it annoys people. Like, that's a lot of fun. And,
That's amazing.
And my two favorite commentators commentated on the race, and my favorite Canadian was my opponent. Don't tell Shania Twain that.
Okay, your secret's safe with me. Mum's the word and all that.
It's okay. That don't impress her much anyway.
Wow. Well, now we gotta go. See you guys later.
And that's where we've just about wrapped things up here. Alrighty. Well,
wait.
Oh no! Wait a minute. We've still got more from Jackimus here.
You have to let me do my thing before I go.
Oh, of course. Oh, by all means, go for doing your thing.
All right, so some of you guys know what this is already. So if you want to join in and, appreciate the team spirit, let's go. You ready for this?
As ready as I can be at this hour.
Man, you don't sound very enthused, but that's all right. I'll forgive you. We'll do it in unison next time. All right?
There we go. Yeah, I'll this is again me watching for the changes and trying to keep up.
All right, let's go, Bruins.
Oh, that's right. He does do that thing. Yeah, I as a Flyers fan, I can't sit in on that. I just can't do it.
Well, as a Sabres fan, I just don't watch hockey anymore. So.
Yeah, that'll certainly do it too.
All right. Well, that about does it.
Yeah, I was trying to get the corrections on the commentators and runners and whatnot because they look to be up from a previous stream here. But make sure to give both of our rather entertaining and charismatic runners a follow, JackimusWedge and AngryLarry. Also want to give thanks behind the scenes to my co-commentator as well as restreamer Edgeworth and or Edgestream as you see up on there. Make sure to give him a follow, as well as Smashy behind the scenes taking care of the tracking. And yeah, we're going to take a respite here for a little more than 12 hours. Be back at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon for the Super Mario Land 2 Randomizer League race. We've got a couple of those, and it looks like not one but two Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament races tomorrow evening, as it looks like at 7 p.m. Eastern, it's going to be Zarnax 42 against Centroid 41. And then at 9 p.m., it's going to be It's Too Early taking on Amazing Toaster. So make sure to stick with the Randomania networks for all of the exciting action coming your way over the course of the next few weeks as the tournament rolls on. And for everybody behind the scenes and in front, for my co-commentator Edgeworth and for Smashy behind the scenes here doing the tracking, I'm Ferran Burgundy saying until next time, may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. So long, everyone.